We're all gonna be on a wagon together. All these people.
Yep. Pretty cool, right?
So it worked out pretty nice.
Over there.
2 hour trip. No bathroom on the trail. We recommend you hit the bathroom before we go. Sounds like you already did that. Sounds like you're in good shape.
Yes.
You can take a drink and a snack with you.
Okay.
Probably a good idea. Yep, probably a good idea to take something with you. Now, it'll be a little warm down in there. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Gonna be a little warm.
Oh, look, paper wasp.
Get a bag too?
It's already a little warm. Last time I looked, it was 86.
White Earp.
Yep. I take a picture of White Earp for Sandra. Say White Earp says hello.
Yeah. So that should be
Jesse James.
That should be Deb coming. Deb's with two. How do you do?
So how many horses pull these wagons?
Two big guys.
Two big guys?
Two big guys.
And the shop is done like a wagon too. Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Gotta keep that thing, buddy.
Yeah. Making us
Where you guys from?
Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Philly area? I
Yeah.
kinda figured I see her shirt on there.
Yeah, yeah.
I said,
Yeah,
yep,
we
there.
staying over in Rowlett with
Oh,
her
really?
family. Yeah. Have you heard of a blog called
The
Solid?
big metropolis of roulette.
That's it. That's it.
Roulette.
Yeah, her father.
Roulette.
Her father is the editor of Solomon's Words for the Wise, the online paper.
Yeah, no.
Don't
I
know
guess
of
we
it?
go through there, but yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, well, you get a chance, go online. Solomon's Words for the Wise, big giant newspaper.
Wow.
Yeah, he does everything
Right
up there,
there
right?
in Rowlett? Does it right there in Rowlett?
Yeah, right from the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
We say roulette, but everywhere you try to
Roulette.
Yeah, everybody's like roulette.
yeah. 36,000 subscribers
Wow.
all over up here.
I mean,
Does all,
Wow.
They've surpassed that.
you say past that? Yeah,
Oh my God.
They're,
What's he
yeah.
write about? A little bit of everything?
they're even in Europe and stuff. People read their papers. Everything in this area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little bit of everything. So, and he does a lot of free stuff. You know,
Yeah.
obituaries are free, yard sales are free.
All that?
Some people advertise. There's a lot of advertising on there, but there's a lot.
That's a good thing.
All the events in the area.
Well, kids, thanks for joining me. Chap Joe here with the family on vacation. We are in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. And as you can see those wagons right there, we are going to be taking a 2-hour trip up into the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania. There's my son. Say hi.
Hello.
So, actually, I just asked the gentleman inside the shop. It's going to be 2 giant Clydesdales that are going to be pulling these massive wagons. So,
Take pictures of them.
yeah. Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. So,
I think you can pet them too.
I think 2:30 is when our trip is going to start. I'm going to come back on, I think, at 2:30. But, yeah, this is it. I'm not sure where the Grand Canyon is up here, but it's in these mountains somewhere. And,
217.
yeah, there's a dirt road back here. It's going to take us up into the mountains. So, for those of you who can't get out and visit, and those of you who can't get out and see the world, I'm going to open that door for you. Here it is right here, Old Cover Wagon Tours. We've never done it before. It's going to cost about $100 to the 3 of us. From what I understand, it is well worth the cost. So there it is. Old Covered Wagon Tours. Click, like, follow, share with others, and I think what I'll do is this is going to be a small, like 5-10 minute introduction video. And then once I get out on the wagon, I will, oh look, there's Bigfoot up there. See Bigfoot up there in the woods? I'm really surprised, to be honest with you, I even got a signal. Because we truly are in the middle of nowhere. You know, hummingbirds flying all around me. Whoa, dude. Really? They're swooping in on me for some reason. Wow, that's cool. I don't know what they're doing, but obviously they're not happy with me. That's pretty cool, though. I've never had birds come at me like that. You guys want to be on camera? Whoa. What kind of birds are these, man? Well, there you go. There's your excitement for the day. I'm not sure exactly why these birds are trying to become popular. A little intimidating, to be honest with you. But yes, Wellsburg, Pennsylvania, Route 6. Come on up here and check this out. There'll be some you want to put on your to-do list. It's these two guys right here. Just what kind of birds they are, but this is going to be a pretty awesome ride. So they're putting the group together now. And like I said, I noticed 100 of you just disappeared on me because I guess it's not a car show, so a lot of you are more excited in car shows than anything. Come down here and take a look at these wagons. And then I'm going to sign off, and when I get up into the mountain, I'll come back on. But, yeah, these are the wagons here. Two massive Clydesdale horses will actually pull us up the mountain. We're going to be going up and down in the mountain. Yes. So, I just got attacked by two birds. And it's all on film. But here's the wagons here. And, never taken a covered wagon ride before in my life, but this is going to be my first time. And these are pretty big wagons. Covered keeps you, don't bake you. Nice, comfortable seats. You may tip your tour guide if you enjoyed your ride. Look at that, huh? Pretty cool. I can smell the horse pucky from here. It smells delicious. Bah. But yeah, here it is. So that's something y'all want to put on your to-do list. It looks pretty comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Not too bad, right?
I thought it was going to be hard.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be rough on my rear end, but no, it's not. So stay tuned in about a half hour, 40 minutes, and I'll come back on. And if you guys want to check out what the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon looks like, here comes the horses now, so I might want to stay on. Looks like they're coming. Wow, they're big boys, too. Okay, so you know what? I'm not going to sign off. I'm going to stay on. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Clydesdales, and well, here comes the horses. They're going to take us up the mountain. So, something different on TikTok. I'm not showing my naked self or doing stupid, foolish things. This is really cool stuff. So, these horses are beautiful. Here they come. Check it out. Look at that. These big guys are going to be working hard pulling us up the mountain. Surprise, too, that's a pretty big coach they're going to be pulling. Pretty cool. I guess I better get out the road or I'm going to be run down. Here they come. The size of these guys. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful horses, huh?
Farming simulator.
Yeah, they're cool. Beautiful horses. You guys ready to go to work?
Guys. Come right down there. I'm going to take a picture of you. Get in there. Get in there. There you go. Everybody look my way. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Not a bad deal.
Thank you, sir. Pretty horses, huh?
Horse flies on them.
Yeah. I guess there's not much they can do about that. They are pretty cool, though.
Perfect.
One of them just went to the bathroom.
I know he did. I know.
They do that.
What's his name? What's his name?
Tim.
Him, hurry up! Flush your toilet and get out here!
Hey, Jim, we need a volunteer.
Oh! Him, hurry up! We need a volunteer!
You know how to clean a big
I got a shovel. Aisle 2, Tim. Aisle 2.
Aisle 2!
Clean up on aisle 2. Clean up on aisle 2.
Clean up on aisle 2.
Wow, they're beautiful. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, uh-huh.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're a big guy.
You're on. Anybody else want a picture? Yep. head down this trail. We're good. Perfect. You're welcome. Did I get everybody? Everybody remember? You guys want
They're big, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Rattle. Yeah. Throw that over on the other side.
I thought you need more.
I don't need no lip balm. I'm good today. I made a fresh batch this morning.
Beautiful horses. Here we go. Collect, collect, share, and
We'll
follow.
hook up the wagon. We'll bring it right over for you right here, and we'll pick you right up right there.
That's a pretty good sized wagon for just 2 horses.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's a lot of beef too. Yeah, but then again, they're big, strong horses. So.
Beautiful animals.
Oh wow, look at that. It's got to be rough hooking them things up.
You might lose internet connection in the mountains. You know that, right?
Yeah. That's 700 likes. It's still 4G though.
The shade on the top.
Oh yeah. I'd like to be spoke about just as I think more.
This is how they did it back in the old days.
What is this, your party bus from the 1600s?
Yeah. Something like that.
This would probably be like inner city with wagons. At that time.
Here we go. She's got the best seat in the house up there. Here he comes. That don't weigh nothing for them.
Okay. A little walk in the park right there.
Powerful animals.
No, Sam, you don't want to water a horse when they're all heated up. You got to cool them down a little and then get them a drink. Yep, not good. Just like us taking a drink when you're, all heated up and stuff. Not a good idea. So, come right around here, folks. We'll load right up. Hop right up in there.
You want to stay
Work
towards
your
the
way
back?
all the way to the front.
Yeah.
Yep, stay
Yeah. Jump down.
Yep. Just hang right there. Go ahead. Hop up in here. Yep. Work your way up to the front there. That way you don't have to climb over you. Not a bad seat in the wagon, honest. We got a nice load. You'll be able to move around a little bit. Everything will be pretty good right here. Perch around.
Oh, so they're not Clydesdales.
No, they're not Clydesdales.
Okay. Yeah, usually the Clydesdales got the big hoofs, right?
Well, they're all workhorse or what they call a draft horse. Yeah, they're called a draft. They're not, they're not related to the Clydes, but they're only in what they do. Everybody, we're good. Everybody's got the end right here. One on one side, one on the other side, whatever you're going to pull here. Grab you a seat and we'll be ready to roll.
That's what you call a load of beef.
You're all right. Go ahead.
All right.
I want to be close to the edge.
Okay.
Sit right down on the edge here. There you go, ma'am. You got her. Go, you can sit over on that side if you want.
Good. I'm making a video, so I figured. Right back here.
You're a video man?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
You say, hey, TikTok. You're on
Hey,
TikTok.
I'm on TikTok. Hi, everybody in TikTok.
You're live on TikTok.
Live on TikTok here. Everybody got everything they need?
Where's your water? Okay.
We're gonna head. We're good.
Yeah, thank
We're gonna head down the trail.
All right.
Yeah. Here we go.
Whenever.
Well, this I got a nice view here.
Oh, nice.
Where are you folks from?
Philadelphia.
It's a really nice library.
Right after we were born and raised, but we never lived right outside.
I was like,
How about you guys?
Well, Phillipsburg. Just west of State College in Center County.
Okay, nice.
I have a sister who's in Avondale, though.
Okay.
That's close to you.
Yeah, not too far.
All right, kids. Click, like, share, and follow. Here we go. We're going up the trail into the Grand Canyon. I took the rear of the wagon to give everybody a really good view of what's
Get
going
closer every day.
I'm sorry?
That's good, Mom. Get closer every day. So we're
on. All right, there he goes. You on covered wagon ride.
We're staying at the campground. Nice.
There you go. Click, like, share, follow. Let you know, your friends know that we're going up into the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. So if anybody's ever want to see it, we're going up. 2-hour ride.
That's almost every year.
I think I sit at the back of the coach.
I got some this morning, and got to meet him.
There's our captain. Good.
Pretty nice day today.
Oh my goodness, his stage is nice. That's right.
Going here, that's going to help
I'd have never thought.
Well, thank you all for coming to Cover Wagon Tours here today. My name is Jim. I'm going to be the guide on our little trip here today. Our driver, her name is Shannon. Everybody say hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
And the boys up front, in case you hadn't heard, they're what we call Percheron. And as you're looking from the back here, you have Prince on the left and Prince on the right. So Prince and Prince are going to take you down in the canyon here today.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you a little bit more about our horses as we work our way down on the trail here today, mainly on the way back out. Right now, we're just going to give you their names. I want you to be anticipating. I am going to pass around a couple of pictures for you to look at. Down my way. One is of our train station that we had in the area. If you look to my right there, folks, you'll see two big rocks sitting there. That is where the depot sat for the New York Central Railroad that went through our canyon back then. There is also a picture of the Little Old White Church. That you might have noticed out here at the end of the highway when you came off from Route 6. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that church as we work our way down the trail here today. Now, I do have to hop off the wagon again real quick. We got a gate up ahead of us here that we need to go through. No motorized vehicles are allowed down in the canyon. No cars, trucks, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, motorcycles, any of that. Once in a while, we'll see DCNR, that is the folks that take care of the trail. And there is a handful of cabins. We'll see one of them today. They have a key. But other than that, folks, no motorized vehicles are allowed in the canyon. So you guys ought to feel a little honored today. I'm about ready to take you in a gated community. Well, you guys might think you're back in Philly.
I'm back in Philly.
No.
That's funny.
If we can get up when they do.
Yeah, we're not getting out.
What's that?
We're locked in now.
That's it, buddy. I told you. You're locked in a gated community. Now we are getting ready to go over the old New York Central Railroad Bridge right here. And if you look, you'll see the old steel beams from being the railroad bridge. This bridge has been incorporated in. Oh yeah. That's where it was the other day right there. They swam over into the lilies. There was a little muskrat right down there.
Keep your eyes peeled and stuff is wet. We only see it for a second.
Bam! He was there the other day too, little guy. The other day he come right off into those buildings. Come right down off the bank, bam.
Oh, wow.
But that bridge has been incorporated into what we call the Pennsylvania Rails to Trails.
Yes.
Probably some of you is on the wagon might have a rails to trails where you live. Anybody got a rails to trails where they live? A few of you? It is a pretty good deal. They take all the old railroad beds they no longer use anymore. They are fixing them up, cleaning them up. They turn them into a nice hiking and biking trail for the public. So it's a very nice little creek we went over back there, folks. We call that Marty Creek. Technically, we're not in the Grand Canyon of PA yet. We do have a little farther to go here before we enter what we consider the Grand Canyon of PA. Is it a creek or a creek?
Crick.
Okay, now listen to this. How many creaky people do I have on the wagon? Buddy, I wouldn't even raise my hand. That doesn't even sound right. How many creaky people on the wagon? Oh, that's me. I'm kind of creaky. Now,
I can tell that once in a while.
I could imagine you look like a shady character, Dave.
I can see.
How many intelligent people on the wagon? Who says correct? This guy here, he's real intelligent. He raised his hand on both of them. There you go. That guy's all right. He knows we're talking about him, too. He's keeping that head down right now. I guess it all matters. All depends on where you were brought up at. Creek, tomato, tomato. Is it a roof or is it a roof? Okay, say that 3 times real fast.
Rough.
Oh, you guys make a good dog. All depends. But, for you tricky people, I am the guide on our little trip here today, and for the next 2 hours, you're going to hear nothing but crick. Thank you. Come out of this mouth. So you are going to have to bear with me here. Try to. Folks, if you look to my right here, we're paralleling a nice little trail alongside us. That trail right there is what we call the Pennsylvania Rails to Trails. Our trail is going to originate up in Wellsboro, in an area up there they call the Junction. It leads from that area, and folks are running a total of 62 miles. Mainly down through what we call the Grand Canyon of PA, and it's going to end up in a little town here in Pennsylvania called Jersey Shore. Little town here in PA called Jersey Shore. No, I'm not taking you to the beach today, not that trip. I see her getting a little excited back there. We're going to the beach? No, ma'am. Little town here in Pennsylvania. Last train come through our canyon in October of 1988. Shortly thereafter, they came down, they tore out all the tracks, all the railroad ties, brought in all the equipment, graded that all off, put down all that nice limestone that you're looking at. That gave you what we call the Pennsylvania Rails to Trails, the Pine Creek section. If you guys have a trail close by where you are, it's going to have some kind of name associated with it. Maybe the railroad that went through there, somebody famous in the area, it'll have some name associated with it. We're pretty famous for Pine Creek, where we're heading to right here. So they call this section the Pine Creek section. We are pretty proud of our trail. Folks, that trail you're looking at right there has been rated one of the top 10 trails in the world. Yep, not in Pennsylvania or United States, but the world. We're pretty proud of that around here. A lot of it has to do with it being an old railroad bed. It does have a grade of less than 2% for the entire trip. So as you'll see on our little excursion here today, it is relatively flat. Pretty much accessible to anybody in there. We've seen people with wheelchairs, walkers, canes, all the way up to guys and girls training for a big bicycle race down here. Our trail gets used an awful lot. Folks, on the average, we get about 500,000 visitors in our area in a year's time. Yep, and if you came here to do any kind of shopping, you might be a little disappointed. Not a lot of shopping in the area. Matter of fact, the nicest gift shop you just left. That's the nicest gift shop in the area. Now, but if you came here to enjoy the outdoors, you came to the right spot. Lots of outdoor activity where we're at. Now, when you came out from Route 6 over there, some of you might have noticed a little old white church sitting. Folks, that is the second oldest church in Tioga County. It was built in 1838 by a gentleman by the name of Anson Bell. That's the name of the town where we're at right here. They called it Big Mountain towns back then. But Anson come into this area, he did quite a bit for the area. They went and renamed the town after him. We call it Ansonia where we're at right now. Oh, thank you. Back ahead of them. More power to them. We got a couple of tubers in the creek here we're talking about. A couple people on inner tubes heading down the creek right here. That really isn't. Yeah, buddy.
It's really
Yeah.
dirty here.
Oh yeah, quite sludgy.
They must be right now.
Well, they get down below here, it'll clean up pretty good. Stroke! 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 Hey, here you go.
Somebody scream short.
Girl power! Go, girl, go!
Come on, buddy, don't let us down. Now, get after
Go, 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 go.
She's winning! Woo! She's winning!
it. Gang, she whooped your butt.
Big fish in there right next to them.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. I think he let her win, don't you, Dave? Yeah, I think he let her win. Yeah. Folks, you'll see that we approached the end of Marsh Creek right here. And you're noticing we're joining another body of water right here. That body of water there is what we call Pine Creek. So technically at this point right here, folks, you are entering what we call the Grand Canyon of PA. This here is going to be the head of the canyon or the mouth of the canyon, whatever you might want to use. So if any of you has had that on your bucket list, you can mark her off. You are officially in the Grand Canyon of PA.
I'm never at the bottom. I'm at the top.
Big fish down back there. Big fish. Oh, this is a good place to go fishing. Big time. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Well, Pine Creek is kind of unusual. It's going to start about 20 miles west up here in a little area called Ulysses. Kind of interesting over in that area. There is actually 3 bodies of water that originate in that area. The Allegheny River forms there and goes south, down by Pittsburgh. Pine Creek originates in that area and comes east. And also the Genesee River forms in that area. Anybody on the wagon, tell me what's unusual about the Genesee River. Well, it does. I drank a lot of Jenny White when I was younger. I wasted a lot of time. I am a Yingling logger man now. I should have been drinking that Ying a long time ago. Yeah, it is one of the few rivers in the country that actually flows north.
Oh, wow.
And then the direction. Yeah. Yes. Might give you a good clue. There's a lot of people that drink in the United States here. So. I know some of you have never had a drink your entire life.
One of the best.
Probably. Might be first.
Click like and share, follow. We are getting close to the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania.
In the country that actually flows north.
Yeah, we are in it.
It never changes. That's what's nice.
Now all 3 of them originate in that area over there, and basically in one great big field. Probably most of you is on the wagon know how big the Allegheny River is. You get down around Pittsburgh, you got a pretty good sized river. I'll tell me by where we pick it up. By the
Oh my goodness, my parents are right on 6. They're on the Allegheny River, so backyard.
Click like, share, and follow. You are now in the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon.
Nothing at the visitor center? What about that one back up before there?
When she graduated, she moved to
Up above there, going back towards
She just thought that was
airport.
just the
Yeah.
best life. We were
Check that out.
our closest neighbor is. Oh, I came.
We'll still have time.
It wasn't as far as her that house, but it was at least half of that. That was our closest neighbor.
What happened?
And she just thought,
Click like, share, and follow.
you should
Pennsylvania Grand Canyon.
move back. She got a job.
$100 trip. You guys get to go for free.
Uh-oh.
You should see where she lives. You should see where she lives now. She had enough of that.
Yeah.
Should I answer or Or should I not answer? I better. They made some good hay for us yesterday. We're trying to find it, get it home before it rains.
I thought you were going to tell us there were mountain lions on the trail.
Well, there is. But the last one we saw jumped right in the backpack there.
Oh, great.
Hold the phone.
He had himself a snack.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's TikToking you.
Yeah. We're live on TikTok.
Folks, all three of them little bodies of water originate over in that area over there, and basically in one great big field. Probably, like I said, most of you on the wagon might know how big the Allegheny River is. You get down around Pittsburgh, you got a pretty good sized river down there. Guess what? When it starts out over there, it is a wee little ditch about yay big coming out of the side of the hill over there. But they are very proud of it. They got a great big sign out along the highway.
About half of this, right? At Mom's house.
That water is amazing.
Yeah.
That is crystal clear.
They were out there.
Would you drink that, you think, Luke? Would you drink that if you had to? You should always, even though, yeah, oil, or yeah, it has to be through shale or something, rock, so that
What
it's,
if I had no choice?
if you had no choice, then you'd probably drink it and then hope for the best.
Well, we're parallel in Pine Creek right now, and we're pretty proud of Pine Creek also. It is one of the better places to go fishing in Pennsylvania, maybe the United States. It is stocked annually with rainbow trout, brook trout, and brown trout. We've had three famous presidents down here fishing on our creek at one time or another. Anybody know who them three gentlemen might have been? Oh, don't be afraid. I don't throw you in the creek.
Lighter?
Nope. Nope.
Saw them on your wall.
Teddy Roosevelt's one of them. Teddy was a big outdoorsman. He loved the outdoors an awful lot. He is actually responsible for a lot of the stuff that we have in our area. Teddy hung out on Pine Creek quite a bit. Nope. He was a Pennsylvania guy, but nope. So we got Teddy. I need two more. I'll give you a good clue. This guy was the general. Yes, ma'am. Ike was up here a couple of times. And it sounds like we need another good clue.
President. Oh, I need to keep my
This guy liked to eat peanuts.
Carter.
Jimmy Carter is a big fisherman. A lot of people don't realize it, but that man is a world-class fisherman. Yep, he's been throughout the world. But he's been up here a few times fishing on our creek also. He likes to hang out down around the State College area. Creek down there called Spruce Creek, and he hits that pretty hard. Good fly fishing creek right in there. He likes to fly fish.
Wayne Harper's fault.
That dog's a happy camper. There's a little trail right here you can work your way down on. Get in. Darling Run. We're going to go by here in just a minute. Folks, as we work our way down in the canyon here today, hopefully we get lucky. We can see a deer, a bear, lots of eagles in our canyon. We have river otter, blue heron, green heron, osprey, all kinds of ducks and geese. If anybody sees anything, please howl. You'll see two little parking areas on my right here. Folks, this area here is called Darling Run. It's an access area for you to get down onto the trail here. If you'd like to do a little hiking or biking on the trail. And you can park there and work your way down the trail back there. You can hit the creek, do a little fishing or swimming or whatever you might want to do. Yeah. Last set of tracks right there, they took out of the canyon, they left them here for a souvenir. Big talk, this one someday, somebody's going to walk down here and say what their toes say. Yeah, going to happen. Maybe not on this wagon, but it's going to happen. You didn't think you'd see one of them either, huh?
What's that?
Yeah, we got a few left around here.
We were down Tennessee a couple years ago. All there, right next to the
Well,
road.
that's like handing them a rotary phone right now. Hand a kid a rotary phone and see what happens. Don't even know what.
Oh, there's a deer. There's a deer. Looking right at it. See him?
Baby
better than a mountain lion.
That's better than a mountain lion. That one's not going to eat you.
I'd have been chewing on me.
Joe, you'll be all right back there.
Look at him looking right at us.
Oh, there you go. Get them flies off you, honey. Yep. Good one, Prince.
I would have screamed a lot louder if it had been a mountain lion.
Oh, hang on, folks. We're going to move here.
Hang on. Hold it on.
She just got all in there.
What's that tell you? She's still hiding right there. She's right behind that bush right there. Right behind us. You can just see her right there. See her? See the little brown spot? Did you see her?
Oh yeah, right there.
There she is. She's picking her head up a little bit.
Berries or something.
Yep.
She really is.
Doing a little nibbling. Folks, down on my left right here, we're going by a big stand of pine trees, and these pine trees alongside us, they are what we call white pine trees. And them white pine trees are approximately 85 years old.
Wow.
And how I know that? My grandpa planted them trees. My grandpa was part of the CCC camp that we had down in the canyon here. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our CCC camp as we work our way around the bend right here where our camp was. Anybody on the wagon have any relatives that might have been in a CCC camp back in the day? Any of you? No? I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we get around the bend here. I'll fill you all in on the CCC camp. Now we are going through the widest section of our canyon right here. And the reason for that being, when a glacier came through this area, one of them stopped and settled right here where we're at. Now as it sat here, it started to melt and it deposited all the debris in that it brought with it. Folks, it made a natural dam in our area right here. The hills around us here that you're looking at, they're around 900, maybe 1,000 feet high. And they claim at one point, the water was only 30 feet from the tops of the hills.
Wow.
So yes, it was a very big dam. Everything we just came down through actually would have been underwater back then. Now eventually, though, that dam did deteriorate and it broke loose, and the force of all that water by some of the glacier was left in there. Folks, that is what cut or formed what you are looking at here today. That made our Grand Canyon of PA back then. Little view right here you're looking at, folks, that is to my left there. That is a little over a mile down through right there. That is the longest view that you will see in the canyon right there. That'll give you an idea of how much our canyon twists and turns going down through. That right there is a little over a mile.
Wow.
I gotta get down here and check that out. You're more welcome to move wherever you think you can see the best. Oh.
Yes.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
I worked with a guy from there. He graduated from high school at 18.
Oh, yeah, there was hardly anybody along the trip for the entire time. Yeah.
You were saying about the bears.
It filled up a little bit when they were logging in that around
two and
the
a half,
area.
3 weeks ago. We
But
actually had a bear.
the majority of it was just people coming in, and they really didn't
722.
stay down in here very
It
much.
walked between
Few,
the back end
there
of
was
our
a few
pickup truck and the
spots.
front end of our
Probably the biggest populated area would be an area called Tyadat. And there was people that lived down there, and they helped take care of the railroad. When the railroad first started coming through here, they would have to have people come out in the evening and make sure the tracks were clear, no rocks had fell down in here or anything like that. So that would have been your job. You would have been walking the tracks back then. But most of it, there was hardly any population around at all. Down in where we're at right here. Folks, if you look on my sign right there, you'll see a CCC. CCC stands for Civilian Conservation Corps. It was a program started by our government back during the Depression time. The economy was very bad. People were having a very hard time making a go of it. So the government started that program up to help everybody. And it did its job. It saved a lot of people and a lot of families back then. Our little camp here was called Darling Run. And it ran from 1935 until 1941. little stream we're getting ready to go over right here. This little stream here is called Darling Run.
We spent a lot of time at Counter Creek, Moving Bull State Park over
Yeah,
at
it's little
Cherry
things.
Springs. That's
Anybody in the area see the little sign that tells you why they call this area Darling Run?
Emporium.
Did you see the little sign? No? Well, then I guess I'm going to have to tell you.
Say, we love the northern tier of Pennsylvania.
There was a husband and wife walking on our trail right here. They came up around the corner here, and dang if there wasn't a big old black bear in the trail. The husband turned to his wife, and he goes, "Run, darling, run!" About that time, he tripped her. What, young lady? What was that like? Now listen, you only have to be one thing. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just got to outrun whoever you're with. The husband got a head start on the deal. You think that's okay, or you don't act too enthused about that? So he's going to trip you and get ahead of you.
Imagine the Loggers Museum.
I rest my case.
It's probably a cool horse.
Now, black bears are pretty docile. For the most part, if you see one of them and they see you, you think about going the other way, they're long gone. They're going to head up over the hill. They don't want anything to do with us any more than you want to do with them. But I will tell you the rest of the story now. There was a couple of families that lived up at the head of the hollow. Their last names were Darling. So they called this area here Darling Run. But out of them two stories, which one did you like better? I rest my case. She's even smiling now. So. No, they're pretty. They really are. Probably not a good idea to mess with Mama Bear. Two-legged or four-legged, it's not a good idea to mess with Mama Bear.
That's right.
But normally black bears are pretty docile. I'd worry more about the mountain lion.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're not kidding.
No, any kind of kitty cat, not a good idea either. I got a big cat, weighs almost 30 pounds. His name is Pirate, and I'm telling you, don't get him mad. Not a good idea. The dogs don't even bother him. He walks around. He's like, what's the old cat there?
Garfield.
Garfield. He's like Garfield. He rules the roost in the neighborhood, let me tell you. He goes anywhere he wants and does anything he wants. He is not, and he's got he's got 6 claws. Oh yeah, he's got an extra paw there, little, yep. Don't get him mad, I'm telling you, he'll give you a right cross and a left cross and everything in between that too. He is a big boy, he don't think, and he's been fixed, but he's still, he's got that cat attitude. Folks, when the CCC guys come into our area here, they were brought in around here to build roads. They built bridges around here. Maybe a few of you might have went up to Leonard Harrison or Colt Point. That is 2 parks that we have in our area. CCC guys built them. As a matter of fact, you get up into Leonard Harrison, you'll see a big bronze statue up there of a CCC worker, commemorating all the work that they did in our area here. My grandpa was part of this camp here. Grandpa came up from Philly in 1936, and he was in that camp there until 1941. Grandpa said quite often they were fighting forest fires in our area, but probably their biggest accomplishment in our area here, folks, we had clear-cut this entire canyon that you are looking at here today. Everything from top to bottom back then would have been pretty much completely bare. We had done what we call clear-cutting nowadays. So the first big project them guys had when they come into our area, folks, they planted over 6 million trees right here where we're at. All different kinds. What do you see, buddy? It's a road over there. Probably. You see the bank, do you? Yep, there's a road on the other side of the creek here. It's called the Awasi Road. It is the access road to get down to the cabins that are down in here. We'll see one of them here in a little bit. It is a public road. You can drive down in there. You'll probably see a few, maybe see a few vehicles on there. Nice little ride down in there, get you right along the creek in there. But the main purpose of it is to access the cabins down there. So, folks, we planted 6 million trees right here where you're at. Grant said he'd get up bright and early in the morning, eat his breakfast, fill their knapsack up with little seedlings, and away they'd go. Up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, all morning long. Grant said if they were close to camp, they would work their way back to camp for lunch. But if not, they were still pretty nice to them. They would bring lunch to them at that time, and when they did, they brought more seedlings too. Yep, was not a 9-to-5 job. Grant said they were out the crack of dawn until dusk doing that job, and it did turn out very nicely. But we have a very healthy and a very pretty forest where we're at right here, for the most part. Probably one of the healthiest forests you're going to see in our country, right here where we're at. And it's all because of all them trees them guys planted back then. And we planted a lot of trees in the Northeast. We had clear-cut the entire Northeast back then. A good majority of our CCT camps that we had back then were in the Northeast. We had at least one camp in every state of the country back then. Pennsylvania had the second largest number of CCC camps in the country. The only state ahead of us was California. Yep. Turned out very nicely. We do. We have a very healthy forest. That's why it's very pretty in the Northeast in the fall, too. Very healthy forest. Mother Nature would have taken care of herself. She probably would have regenerated something back then. She always does. But I guarantee you it would not be anything like what you're looking at here today. Didn't have very much to go off from. Been an old scrubby forest if we hadn't stepped in and did something. So it did turn out very, very nicely. While the guys were here, they earned a whopping $30 a month. Yep, they made $1 a day. And out of that, they were required to send 25 of it home. Grant said most of the guys sent it all home. They had no use for any money. They did not go anywhere. Camp ran 7 days a week. You got lucky and got a day off. Normally you just hung around the camp, resting up, getting ready for your next stint. So Grant said most of the guys sent it all home. With the camp being run like a military base. Yep, everything they needed was supplied for them. All their food was taken care of, all their clothing was taken care of. Our camp even had a little doctor down on the base. So if anything happened, folks, everything was taken care of, right? Very good program. Helped a lot of people, a lot of families. I'm one of them. My grandpa walked up from Philly at the age of 18 to get into that camp right there. Yep, you heard me. Oh, he had no money to buy a bus ticket. He got accepted into that camp there. Out the door he went, started heading up here. Said he got lucky and caught a few rides, but the majority of it he walked up from Philadelphia. Yep. Well, you had to do what you had to do. That's how bad things were back then. Folks, on the other side of the creek right here, you'll see a big plant growing over on the other side there. And it pretty much overtook that entire bank over there. You see a few trees growing up out of there. But basically, all you see is that plant. Does anybody recognize that plant? That whole side, that whole bank over there, man. All one big plant over there. Anybody recognize it? It is called Japanese knotweed or American bamboo.
You didn't know.
It is a very invasive plant. Got a root system that goes down in the ground, about 3-4 foot. Wrapped around all the other root systems in the area. That's where the knot part comes in. And eventually it kills everything around it. Chokes it right out. Cannot kill the trees. The trees have a big, hardy root system. But it tries. They've dug a few trees up down in here before, moving them around in that. When they...
There's a baby deer in the lake. Baby deer.
Baby
Yeah.
corn.
I thought it was a
Corn.
I thought it was a
Or it's a fox.
No, it's a baby fawn.
Oh.
Here
He's
it
calling
comes
his
Ryan.
mama.
It's talking to mom.
Hurry up, Mom.
Comes
Calling his
Ryan.
mama.
talking to Mom.
Oh,
Eh,
it is.
Hurry up, Mama.
Thank you. I thought it was a dog at first.
Mom,
It is.
Hurry up, Mama.
Thank you. I thought it was a dog at first.
Mom, it says something's over here, and I'm not quite sure what it is.
Looks like a dinosaur. Dinosaur.
It's gonna run around there and it's probably gonna go up into that Japanese knot hill. It needs a sandy, gravelly soil. It needs lots and lots of water. Yep, so it did not survive up there. But as you look around right now, you'll see it everywhere down along the creek right here. You get home, if you live anywhere where I just mentioned, you get home, look on a waterway of some kind, a river, a creek, a dam, some kind of wet area. I promise you'll find out. You get home, look on a waterway of some kind, a river, a creek, a dam, some kind of wet area. I promise you'll find that plant growing somewhere where you live. Waterway of some kind, a river, a creek, a dam, some kind of wet area. I promise you'll find that plant growing somewhere where you live. Guaranteed. It's all over on the Susquehanna. It's all over down growing somewhere where you live. Guaranteed. It's all over on the Susquehanna. It's all over down around Philly. I mean everywhere.
Yeah, I think
Down
that
through, down through
Oh,
the
right now.
Harrisburg area. Down Philly. I mean everywhere.
Yeah, I think
Down through,
now.
down through
Oh,
the
right now.
Harrisburg area. It's out in Pittsburgh. It's all over. If the plant dies, it's all over. If the plant dies in the fall, as we just mentioned, and that is how it populates, it's all over. If the plant dies in the fall, as we just mentioned, and that is how it populates itself, it'll fall down in the creek and it floats around. Do not need any of the root system to get it going. Little piece of the stem in the right area, in the right condition, it'll actually root itself. And yep, away it goes. Highly recommend you don't pick any of it. Take it home with you. So, probably most of you don't need to. You probably got it somewhere. I guarantee you, you got it somewhere in your area. If you want to get rid of your neighbor, it'll work pretty good for that. We have a little bit of that, the neighbor is gone.
We have a lot of bamboo growing in our area right now.
Regular bamboo.
Everybody has planted it and they didn't contain it,
Yep.
so it's going crazy.
Yep. And this is just a little version of that right here. We'll get some pretty close to the wagon, and if you look at the stem, you'll see it looks like a little piece of bamboo. But as you look around down here, it's everywhere. A good way to identify it, here about the middle of August, it'll get a big white flower on top of it. Awful pretty down in Canyon at that time. Look around right now and spot all that bamboo and imagine it with a great big white flower on top of it. It is absolutely gorgeous at that time down there. And with it being a bamboo, it is hollow on the inside. When that flower comes out, it gets a dark molasses-like liquid on the inside. And the honeybees love it. Canyon comes alive. When that flower comes out, it gets a dark molasses-like liquid on the inside. And the honeybees love it. Canyon comes alive. Makes a very, very good honey. If you happen to get your honey from an apiary, ask them if they have any access to knotweed honey. It's real dark. It's like a molasses color. But man, let me tell you, you start eating that, you're going to leave goldenrod and clover and buckwheat and all them. It has really, really good flavor. But it's hard to find. You got to move, most of the time, you got to move the bees to the area where it's at. So we have a guy that comes in our area here. He's got his bees on a wagon and, a trailer. And he'll bring it here and park it, and the bees can access in and out of the trailer, and they'll work on the knotweed in the area here. So here and park it, and the bees can access in and out of the trailer, and they'll work on the knotweed in the area here. So it is pretty neat. We get some. Try